Hey y'all, happy Tuesday. Welcome back. I have kind of a fun little video to do today. Something different. I actually haven't seen anybody else on the YouTube streets doing this. If someone has, I'm not aware of it. I tried to look it up and see, but I couldn't find anybody who had done this. So we're gonna do a little sneaky peek review on something that's brand new in the Yarny community. I hope that sounds like fun. So I suggest grab yourself a drink, coffee, tea, soda, whatever. Um, I have my tea and I'm going to take a sip and let's dive into this. So, what am I talking about? Well, let me look it up. I don't know if all of you, some of you may have seen this advertisement. It kind of pops up on Facebook. I'm not on there a whole lot, but when I do get on there, it does pop up. And it's popped up in some ads on some things that I have been like Google searching and stuff like that. And it's from the Kindness Company. And you have probably seen this ad, Crochet Nation, a crochet twist on the classic newspaper. So I kept seeing it and I never really clicked on it, didn't read about it. And then it kept popping up more and more. And so it kind of piqued my interest. And so I wanted to read to see what it was all about. And it says, "The Mail That Makes You Happy, a crochet twist on the classic newspaper. Crochet Nation is a monthly physical print newspaper that's all about crochet and all about fun. The newspaper reimagined for crocheters. Everything you loved about print newspapers, patterns, tips, and games with none of the bad news." And who couldn't use some of that, right? It says Crochet Nation is a monthly print newspaper created to bring back the nostalgia of traditional newspapers, but with a twist made just for crocheters. Imagine receiving a beautifully designed paper filled with inspiring patterns, creative tips, fun games, uplifting stories, all focused on your love for crochet. It's a refreshing escape from screens and negativity, delivering joy, creativity, and a sense of connection straight to your mailbox. With Crochet Nation, it's all yarn, all joy, and a little bit of magic in the print. And then they give you like a little sneaky peek of the paper. And it says, "Say hello to your new monthly crochet ritual." Each issue is packed with beautifully designed patterns, fascinating feature articles, fun games, and thoughtful stories, all curated to brighten your day. And it goes on to talk about articles, patterns. Oh, the patterns are a treat brought to you by some of your favorite designers, but it's the extras that make it special, from articles that transport you to places like Irish lace, making traditions, to the ingenious ways yarn was used in espionage during the World Wars, to crochet-themed crosswords, word scrambles, and spot the difference challenges. There's something for everyone to enjoy. It's not just a paper, it's happy mail, a moment to unwind, and a little dose of crochet magic delivered to your home every month. Um, so it really piqued my interest. And, the more I got into it and read, and it tells you to grab a cup of your favorite beverage and everything else. So, interest peaked, correct? So, here's the first edition. I have read it. Um, it's 2 sections, so it's got quite a bit in it, for sure. Um, it's split into 2. And I actually have the first 4 editions. It comes out once a month. I just haven't been able to get to this. So in issue 1, you have your different little articles here, tidbits, where they talk about from my hook to yours, a note from Brittany Smiley. She is the editor-in-chief. And tools of the trade, they'll feature something new that crocheters might be interested in every month, and books, podcast, and show recommendations, random act of crochet kindness heart pattern, and then inspiring color palettes, February's color crush, cozy neutrals and soft pinks, and then they give you the color palette right there. And then it goes into Cocoa and Crochet, cozy crochet projects to curl up with. And I'm not going to show the code, but they show 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different patterns. And there's one of those square QR codes to scan at the bottom that takes you to the pattern pages, which I thought was pretty cool. Although I don't know if my phone scans QR codes. I haven't tried it yet. And then on the next page, bring handmade charm to every corner of your home. Ombre textured blanket. And they give you, I'll show you a picture of the blanket, but I have to do it carefully so I don't show you the pattern. There's the blanket. And the pattern's in the newspaper. You don't have to scan a QR code for that one. And from the looks of the pattern, it looks very well written. And it's not complicated. It looks like one of those that you could whip together fairly quickly. And then it goes into yarn knitting and espionage, the secret weapon of resistance. Now, I read this article and I had no clue, even though this is Crochet Nation, they were talking about knitting, that back during the World Wars, I had no idea in World War I and World War II that women in like Belgium and the Netherlands and all that were knitting secret codes in like scarves and things like that. They would sit and watch the soldiers, like the military entourages coming in, different military things that were going on that would travel by them. And they just looked like your everyday little ladies who were enjoying their craft, sitting there knitting, and who knew that they had worked out different stitches and like dropping stitches in certain places revealed codes. And they were knitting these into articles of clothing and then delivering them, and no one knew. And they show a photograph of women in Berlin, Germany, knitting for soldiers during World War I. Liberty, it's the Library of Congress photo. And I thought that was pretty interesting right there. But yeah, I found that really interesting. I'm a big history buff, and I really enjoy reading about historical things. And then when you throw our love of the fiber arts in there, that just makes it all the more enticing and piquing of my interest. Kind of like Christina over at Bella Uncinetto. She's been doing a segment on fiber arts through the history that encompasses knitting, crochet, tatting, weaving, spinning, all that kind of stuff. And I've really been enjoying her series. So when I saw this article, this was kind of right up the alley. And I thought that was really cool. And I hope she sees this video because I think she would find it really interesting and might want to do some little background checking and perhaps maybe use it in one of her segments. Very, very interesting how they talked about the strategic knitting locations for key military sites, the trains, they counted the planes observed, and they encoded everything in their knitting projects to deliver to help the soldiers fight in the wars. And then they go on to another crochet pattern, the Heart Graph Baby Blanket, right there. And this one doesn't look too overly complicated either. It even gives some designer tips. It's got the written pattern as well as a graph. And then we have a yarn maze, which is one of those, the yarn ball fell out and you got to go through the maze to try and get it to the other side to get in the basket. And the feature article in this one is The Legacy of Irish Crochet Lace, the craft born from adversity. And it talks about the Victorian elegance and the rise of Irish lace, the techniques and the technique that endures. And they talk about Queen Victoria herself played an indirect role in elevating the profile of Irish lace. Her well-documented appreciation for handmade goods included her fondness for Irish linen, helped bring attention to the artistry of Irish craftsmanship. This royal influence, combined with the Victorian era's love of intricate decor, solidified Irish lace as a must-have feature in well-appointed homes. And then they have a picture of her, and you can see she's adorned with some Irish lace. Gorgeous. And then on the next page, it even has a copy of a little sign. Mrs. Veer O'Brien's Limerick Lace School. And it gives the information like the manager of the position. And then Claire Embroidery, Mrs. O'Brien's, Belaya, Enoch County, Clare. And it was schools for women to go to learn to do Irish crochet so they could help support their families during the Great Irish Famine. So I thought another historical element here. So I thought that was really interesting too. And on the next page in Home and Living is reusable face scrubby pattern. And it's really simple workup. And then under wearables, a button-up cowl crochet pattern. Right there. Very nice. And then on the next page, you have some Easy Elizabeth Stitch fingerless gloves right there. Those will come in handy, that pattern, because you guys know I do make them for hospice. And then there's a Tangled in Stitches crochet word scramble at the bottom of the page. And then another featured article is Blocking Wearables Achieve the Perfect Fit. Block like a pro. Everything you need to know about blocking wearables. When blocking is necessary, when it's not. Fiber and blocking methods, blocking techniques, and final tips for blocking success. And it breaks it down for wool and wool blends, cotton, linen, plant-based fibers. And it tells you why to block and best method. Acrylic, blended fibers, and there's a section in here when to block it and when to skip it. And then on the back of this one, you have another crochet pattern. A super cute Tessa the Tulip right there. And I'm Not going to show that QR code because you can use it to scan and give you a coupon code to get your first Test of the Tulip card for free. 12 designs to pick from. It's like a greeting card to go with the crocheted tulip. And then in the second section of Crochet Nation, we start off with a stitch break crochet horoscope, which this is from February, and now we're in May because I have the other editions I need to read, but I wanted to go over edition 1 with you guys, and then later on we'll go over 2, 3, 4, but my horoscope for that month was the Dreamy Stitcher. Your fiery energy means you'll finally tackle that ambitious project, whether it's a blanket, a dramatic tapestry, or a textured throw. Focus equals finish, so beware of starting too many projects at once. Don't know what they're talking about. Lucky Yarn, bold red and oranges. We did use some of those back then. Cosmic tips, schedule crochet time to power through those ambitious projects and keep inspired. I thought that was pretty cool. And they've got one for each, because I'm an Aries, so. And then the next page is a crochet personality quiz. What kind of crocheter are you? And they have 6 questions. And the answers are A, B, C, or D. And then once you're finished with all 6 questions, you'll go through, and if you're mostly A's, you read what that is. If you're mostly B's, you'll read what that is. Or if you're mostly C answers or D answers, whichever one you answered the most, you read it. Mine happened to be, I'm trying to remember. I didn't mark it. So we'll do it later. And then another feature story in here was the Stitches of Deception. They have a series of installments going on in here. And it's set in 1851 Victorian London. Stitches of Deception is an 11-part mystery series exclusively featured in Crochet Nation. Follow Eleanor Fairchild, a clever maid with a talent for decoding secrets hidden in crochet patterns as she uncovers a web of danger and deceit. Each month, a new installment will bring readers deeper into Eleanor's journey to uncover the truth behind a shocking death and her own mother's mysterious past. I did read the first installment. I like it. And it's kind of like one of those, oh man, you got to wait another month for the next installment. But I don't right now because I have the other 3 that I still have to read. So, and it's actually 2 pages long. And then at the bottom of that page is a spot the difference with a handful of little crochet keychains, which I thought was super cute. And I think there's supposed to be 6, 6 tiny differences. And then the next page is another pattern. There's quite a few in this newspaper, guys. It's called the Fairchild Lace Placemat and Coaster. And they give you a little, I'm not gonna, it's right there. That's just a corner. And that, you can't barely see that because it's got a bowl on it. It's not overly complicated and it looks very pretty. I will probably make 1 or 2. I think it's pretty and could be doily-ish. And then the symbolism of lace in homes. In Victorian times, lace was a symbol of refinement and social status. Homes adorned with intricate lace doilies and curtains reflected both the wealth and artistic taste of their owners. It's a did you know moment. And then, let's see, next we have the great crochet debate, to frog or not to frog. It says, every crocheter has been there. You're deep into a project, lost in the rhythm of your stitches. When you notice something, a stitch is off, maybe you skipped one, maybe you added two, or maybe the entire row is a little wonky. Now comes the ultimate crochet dilemma. Do you frog it, undo your hard work, or power through, embrace the imperfection, and keep going? Welcome to the timeless debate that has divided crocheters for generations. And then it's got a little thing on here, Team Frog, perfection is worth it. And it talks about team power through, perfection is overrated, why powering through works, why frogging feels right. And then what do the experts say? And it talks about the difference in frogging, if it's a wearable, a blanket or home decor, or amigurumi, which we all know amigurumi is probably mostly a frogget. Very few things you can, yeah. And then reader stories, tales from the frog pond, where people have talked about whether they frog or don't frog. Frogging versus powering through, final thoughts. What's your take? And then you've got crochet Mad Libs, fill in the blanks for a yarny laugh. And they tell you how it works and what the prompts are for number 1 through 13. And you pick whatever kind of word, like number 1 is a type of yarn, like wool, acrylic, silk, whatever. And number 2, a tool, like a crochet hook, scissors. 3, a type of crochet project, scarf, amigurumi, blanket, an adjective. And then once you figure out what words you're going to use for 1 through 13, then you go over to the Mad Lib, and for each blank space has a number, and you put whatever one you picked into that space that corresponds with that number, and then you read it. We're not going to do that today because that would be more like something for a live. And then Crochet Nation crossword puzzle, crochet techniques and tools, deepen your knowledge. And it's a very big crossword puzzle. I haven't done any of the puzzles or anything. I wanted to go through the newspapers first. So that is the first edition. A lot of patterns. I like the couple of historical relevance stories when it comes to the fiber arts. And then to add that storyline that's going to encompass, I think it said 11 issues, that kind of correlates with the knitters who were knitting codes into scarves, etc., through the wars. And this story kind of follows kind of through that. I thought it was really interesting, and I liked the first part of the story. Very interesting. So they try and put in amigurumi, wearables, some household, and then the stitch breaks are inspiration, trivia, and crochet horoscopes to spark your creativity and imagination. Home and living cozy blankets, eco-friendly scrubbies, and timeless Irish lace for a handmade home. 8 must-try patterns this month. I think This is a lovely paper because we have like, oh, the Crochet Now, Simply Crochet, Crochet World, and basically all they are pattern books. They don't have a whole lot of other stuff in them. There's a lot of advertisements, not in here. Typically, the ads you're going to see in here usually have a code, and it's to get a discount on something, or a freebie or a pattern, something like that. I think this is pretty cool. Um, I'm glad that I decided to check it out because I found it really interesting. And like I said, I like the historical um fiber art stories. They're very, very interesting, and it's something that um I really kind of want to dig into history-wise a little more and read more about it. But this newspaper, Crochet Nation, and they also have Knitting Nation as well. So it's just not for crocheters. There is also a Knitting Nation, and it's from the Kindness Company. And the subscription, you can either pay it monthly or you can pay for the year in advance. And I think there's a little bit of a discount if you pay for the yearly subscription, but monthly it's $7. And I don't remember if there's like a shipping charge, a small shipping charge. Um, yeah, I'm not seeing it in here. I don't remember. I would have to look at my card transactions. And the monthly newsprint newspaper releases once a month, and they ship the issue twice a month on the third business day of the month and the 17th of the month. So let's say it's the 10th of the month and you decide you want to subscribe and check it out. You can go on there, put in the information, pay for your subscription, and the next issue that rolls out will be sent to you. I do believe if it was the 10th, like let's say the 10th of May that you subscribed, you would get May's because they have a second mailing. No, I'm not sure how that works. Since they ship on the third business day of the month and the 17th of the month. So, yeah, if you subscribed on, let's say that like today, then you would get June's, I believe. I believe that's how that works. Um, but yeah, it's $7 a month, which I don't think is too bad because there is a lot of information in it, some very interesting stories. Because normally when I buy the crochet magazines, there might be one or two patterns in them, if even one or two, that I find interesting enough to make, and really not a lot of articles or historical things. And then the magazines just sit there, and if it gets to a point where I know I'm not going to use them, I give them away. And I think this is pretty cool. I'm kind of excited to read the second edition, the third edition, and the fourth edition because, like I said, they're already in there. And hopefully I'll get them read before I get June's. So, and it came fairly quickly after publication for the month. Um, So yeah, I'm kind of happy about it. I was wondering if any of you have seen the advertisements for this, and have any of you decided to dip the toe in the crochet newspaper, so to speak? Um, because as of yet, like I said, I haven't heard anybody talking about it. Um, and I think maybe that was part of the reason it had even intrigued my curiosity even more. Because I'm like, because I kept reading everything and I was like, well, if it's packed with that much of stuff, then why isn't anybody getting it and talking about it? Or have they not pulled the trigger and they're like, I want to see if this is legit. But I'm here to tell you it's legit. Um, and yeah, I think $7 a month is not that bad to have a magazine, not a magazine, a crochet newspaper, um, with a lot of interesting stuff in it, delivered to my house like a regular newspaper, and I can pour myself a cup of coffee, a hot tea, or if it's too hot, I can get an iced tea, and just kind of kick my feet up on the porch, perhaps, or in my recliner, and kind of take a deep dive in it and read it. I think it's pretty cool. Tell me what you think. Um, do you guys think that, granted, I couldn't read everything to you, and some of the things I couldn't show because it's surrounded by pattern. Um, but yeah, I think it's worth it. What do you guys think? Is it something that you would think is worth it? Um, I yeah, I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry that I subscribed. So when I get done with the second issue, I will kind of do a little review on that one and see if I'm still as enthusiastic. And yeah, we'll see what all kind of fun stuff. I did kind of take a sneak peek in one of them, just kind of real quick was flipping through, and I cannot remember which issue it was, but one of them actually has an interview with Creative Grandma. I did see that, and but I didn't read the story yet because I'm not ready for that issue. I was waiting because I want to do them consecutively. So I'm really interested to get in there and read that and see what that's all about. Yeah, I think it's going to be a fun newspaper. I hope it gains some more traction and that more people start receiving it and having some fun with it and enjoying it. Because like I said, I'm enjoying it, and I don't get the newspaper anymore. I've stopped doing that because there was too much yuck in it. I don't do a whole lot of social media like Facebook and all that. I do have accounts, um, but I'm almost never on there because of yuck. Um, all of the negativity and garbage and all that stuff. And yeah, there's none of that in here. And I think that is pretty stinking cool. Um, I'm excited. I'm excited for the next to read the next few issues that I have in there and talk to you about them. And we'll go from there. So tell me what you guys think in the comments. And if it's something that you want to check out, I will put if it'll let me link their webpage um in the description box. Sometimes it will let me link stuff and sometimes it won't. It'll kick it out or won't let me do it at all. Um, so I will try. And if you want to go in there and read about it, because there was more stuff in there, I just didn't read it all because it was a lot. Um, and it gives you all the information and all that stuff. So yeah. Let me know what you guys think. And yeah, we'll come back with a little sneaky peek review on issue 2 when I get it done. I'm not sure when that'll be yet. I'm gonna try and get them done before I get June's. So we have 3 more. We're gonna check out and see where we go from there. So this video is long enough, all about a newspaper that I think is kind of cool. Um, I like it. I like it a lot. So with that, I'm going to let you guys go. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I hope you found some of this interesting. And if there was something that piqued your interest, but you don't remember some of the details on it, reach out to me and I'll let you know. And maybe we can do a little history dive. Or, yeah, I think I might email Christina and kind of give her a heads up on that and see. She may want to do a history dive on that for her segment. I wouldn't want to take that away from her because I think that would be something really interested because she goes very deep diving into this stuff. She is very detail oriented, and I love that about her. And that's why I like that segment of hers. So, yeah, I think I'll get that information to her and see what she thinks because she may want to use it later on. So, with that, I'm going to let you guys go and leave you with these parting words. Till next time, remember, life is not perfect, so be kind. Try and create something new every day and keep reaching for the stars in your yarn. So, till next time, guys, love you bunches. Talk to you soon. Bye for now.